Hey guys, my name is Sophie and I'm going to be teaching y'all the basics of Samurai and Red Mage, where exactly you unlock them, where their second job quests are, and the initial level 50 rotation, along with some tips on role skills you'll be wanting to take for them. Red Mage unlocks at the Steps of Fall coordinates 14.1, 11.7. I'll show you on the map with a quick red circle where exactly this spot's going to be. Once you get there, you'll see the tutor with a blue exclamation point quest marker above his head. The second job quest after this will be found in Black Brush Station in Central Thanalan, so make sure you look there after you finish the level 51. Now that you have Red Mage unlocked, we're going to talk a little bit about the basic rotation for it. The first thing to notice is your gauge. Your gauge will show your black and white mana, and the very basics of Red Mage are to keep these two resources balanced. If either of them become imbalanced, it'll be harder to gain the other one, and thereby harder to execute your important combos in order to keep your damage up. A lot of your skills will grant either black or white mana, and we're going to talk a little bit about those as we go over the basic rotation. The first skill you're going to start out with is Jolt. You're probably going to want this on your number 1 ability, or whatever spot you have assigned to your most used ability. It's your basic filler ability, increases both your black and white mana. Ver Arrow increases your white mana and deals a potency of 300. It has a chance to proc Ver Stone. Ver Thunder has the same potency as Ver Arrow, but increases your black mana, and has a chance to proc Ver Fire. Ver Stone and Ver Fire both have higher potencies at 270, and also increase black and white mana by 9. Fletch is going to be your off-global cooldown that you use on cooldown, so always keep Fletch on CD. Acceleration also is one that you'll be keeping on cooldown a lot, and is going to give you an instant proc on your Ver Fire or Ver Stone. Now that we've got the ranged combo down pat, we're going to move into our melee combo. The 3 skills you're going to be using in your melee combo are Riposte, Zuer Chow, and Redoublement. All 3 of these are put together and will end up using 80 black mana and 80 white mana. So you're going to want to make sure you have at least 80 white and black mana before you go into your melee combo. The 2 skills that are used to get you into your melee combo are Kora Core, which will rush you to your target and allow you to start doing those melee skills. After you finish your melee combo, you'll use Displacement, which will bring you back into your ranged position in order to go back into your Jolt, Ver Arrow, Ver Thunder combos. Finally, we have Scatter, which is basically an AoE Jolt. You're going to use it in AoE situations where you have a lot of mobs, such as in a dungeon or a raid situation. The final skill we have on our bar is Tether. We won't really be using this all too much. It'll be mainly used in PvP as it has a bind. It doesn't really do any damage, so it likely won't get much use from you in dungeons or PvE content. Now that we've taken a look at the toolbars for Red Mage, I'm going to show you a quick rotation that you'll be using at 50. The important thing that we need to look at first is Dual Cast. This is the most important trait you have right out of the door and kind of brings together your entire kit. Anytime you use a casting skill, you'll proc Dual Cast, which will cause your next skill to be instant cast. The way we use this is we cast Jolt and then either Ver Arrow or Ver Thunder, depending on whether we need white mana and use Ver Arrow, or black mana and use Ver Thunder. Now both Ver Arrow and Ver Thunder have a chance to proc Ver Fire and Ver Stone, so whenever we get a proc we'll use those, and since we cast those procs, we'll go back to instantly using Arrow or Thunder after we cast a proc. Anytime you don't have a proc, you cast Jolt to get your dual cast up. Don't forget, use Fletch on cooldown. It is a huge potency off-global cooldown, and not something you ever want to leave on your bar, not used. Acceleration will also give you a free proc, so just use that whenever you can, keeping that on cooldown as well when necessary. Finally, when you reach 80 black mana and 80 white mana through use of Ver Arrow, Ver Thunder, and your Ver Stone and Ver Fire procs, you're going to want to use Core to go into your melee combo. The 3 melee combo skills will bring your mana back down, and you just use Displacement and go back to using Jolt, Ver Arrow, Ver Thunder, and your procs. Finally, we'll take a look at the cross-roll skills that you're going to want to take. Lucid Dreaming is a definite necessity. You have no natural way to restore your regular mana bar in combat, so Lucid Dreaming is a free refresh cooldown as well as an enmity reduction skill. Apocatastasis is a very good defensive cooldown that you can use on a friendly teammate and is generally taken as well. Finally, Addle is the equivalent of what used to be Virus and reduces an enemy's intelligence and mind by 10%. This is really good whenever a boss is using a cooldown or a cast that you want to reduce damage on. The last 2 I find to be kind of debatable, but I decided to take Diversion and Swiftcast. Diversion will reduce enmity, and Swiftcast will give me just another option at an instant cast if I need one for whatever reason. Samurai also unlocks in Ul'dah. To find the Samurai Tutor, you're going to go to the coordinates 9.2, 9.1 in the Steppes of Nald. I'll show you the map real quick here so you can have an idea of exactly where these coordinates are. It's pretty easy to find. Right after you leave the Aetheryte, you just head out the area a little bit and he's right in front of you. The level 50 quest that comes after this initial quest will be in the Gladiators Guild, so go there next after you finish this quest. Now let's take the time to look at your actual skills and tooltips. And excuse a bit of my pronunciation on these because I am not Japanese and I'm doing my best. First we have Hakaze. That's going to want to be on your number 1 skill because it creates a lot of your combos and will lead into you creating your Sen stacks. Then we have Jinpu. It delivers an attack with a potency of 100 and increases your damage dealt by 10%. Next we have Gecko. Gecko combos with Jinpu and grants the Getsu Sen, which is very important because that's one of your Sens. Next we have Shifu, which is another option of a combo skill with your number 1 Hakaze, which reduces your weapon skill cast time and combos into Kasha, which creates a Sen of Ka. Finally, we have Yukikaze, which reduces a target's slashing resistance and grants you the Setsu Sen. To use your Sens, use the skill Iaijutsu. While having 1 Sen will give you the DOT Higanbana, which is something you're going to want to keep up at all times. Using 2 Sens will give you Tenka Goken and AoE, and using 3 Sens will give you Midare Setsugeka, which is a 720 potency, high damage skill you're going to want to use whenever you have 3 Sens. Finally, we have Meikyo Shisui, which is a skill that lets you use combo actions out of combo and it'll still grant their combos, which has many uses as you can imagine. Finally, we have our AoE skills, Fuga, Oka, and Mengetsu. These are really cool because basically the way they work is you can use Fuga, which is an AoE, and it combos with both Oka and Mengetsu. First you use Oka and you'll grant one of your Sens, then you use Mengetsu, it'll grant you another Sen, and that gives you the 2 Sens that you can use Iaijutsu to use an AoE attack with that as well. So basically all your AoE skills work together to create a more powerful AoE. Finally, we're going to look at the skills Third Eye, which is just a defense buff that reduces the amount of damage you take by 5%. NP, which just is a ranged attack that you probably won't use that much, but it's kind of useful if you're far away and just want to throw something at the target. And finally, Ageha, which is an Execute, which you'll use whenever what you're attacking is low. It's off the global cooldown, so you're definitely going to want to weave it in between a couple attacks, and it's super good. Finally, let's take a look at me doing a basic level 50 rotation. You're going to want to start with your Hakaze, go into Jinpu, and then into Gecko. That's your first combo, and will grant you 1 Sen. Then you're going to use that Sen with your Iaijutsu skill to put Higanbana, the DOT, on the target. Next, you're going to use Hikaze into Yukikaze to put the slashing resistance debuff on the target. Finally, you'll use Meikyo Shisui to put your final Senin and use Shifu, Kasha, and Gekko. And after that, you'll use your Jutsu to get Midare Setsu, your high damage 720 potency attack. Now, if you didn't have Meikyo Shisui up, you would just do a normal Shifu combo. But because we had it up there, we were able to bypass that, go straight into Shifu, skip the Hikaze, and do that extra damage for that reason. After that, you just kind of keep using your 3 combos. You're going to want to keep things like the DOT, your slashing resistance debuff, your weapon skill cast time buff, and your damage dealt buff up. It's basically balancing these things and just doing as much damage as you can while doing them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This was my first ever YouTube Final Fantasy XIV video, and I'm going to do my best to not only make more content, but improve as I go along. If you have anything in particular you'd really like to see from my future content, please leave a comment or come to my Twitch stream, which will be linked down below, and let me know. I'm really going to be focusing on beginner's guides and the like, so stuff like that is definitely ideas I would like to hear. I want to make stuff that you guys want to see. Alright guys, I will see you all later. Goodbye!